Alcoholic parent can have a hugely damaging effect on a child, and it's a problem that's more widespread than you'd think. Earlier this week, the NSPCC revealed they received a call every hour from an adult concerned about drug or alcohol abuse around children.
Well, today the MP Liam Byrne, whose father was an alcoholic, will launch a cross-party initiative to provide more support for children living with alcoholism. Research for the new campaign estimates there are 2.6 million children of hard-drinking parents in the UK. That's around 1 in 5. Many of the children of alcoholics suffer in silence, but evidence heard by Parliament suggests they are twice as likely to have problems at school. 3 times more likely to consider suicide and 4 times more likely to become alcoholics themselves. I'm delighted to say that Liam Byrne is with us, as well as Josh Connolly. Josh was just 9 when his father, who was an alcoholic, died. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time on this morning. I suppose that the real hope, Liam, is that this manifesto actually makes a difference to people who are in the same situation as you and Josh.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we sort of launched this campaign this time last year on this sofa, in fact, and since then we've just heard these extraordinary stories from children of alcoholics and from charities and pressure groups, and what a cross-party group has done is sort of put those ideas together in a manifesto. And we had a debate in Parliament about some of the ideas a couple of weeks ago, which was, I mean, just incredible. A minister actually broke down in tears at the dispatch box, and I think government is in listening mode now, so yeah, it's a big day for us today. I think change is coming. Josh, tell us a little bit about the impact on you of living with your dad, who was an alcoholic and then died from it.
So the impacts really for me as a child of an alcoholic have been lifelong, despite my dad dying when I was 9. With alcoholism, it's about the way that it makes you feel within the family. And the way that it kind of leaves you feeling very, very lonely and like there's nowhere to turn, you know. I found it difficult to turn to my mum because I felt like she had burden enough with the alcoholism, and because of the way society looks at alcoholism, I felt like there was nobody really that I could speak to.
Did you, and I want to ask you both this really, was it a sort of, did you feel you had to keep it a secret?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like in schools, we were taught that people who drink too much and do drugs are bad people.
Right.
So I grew to have a perception that the world saw me as a bad person because my dad was an alcoholic, and I almost felt guilty in loving him sometimes because of the way people saw alcoholism.
And that can be incredibly limiting, can't it, Liam? It sort of makes you feel that even if you have hopes and dreams of what you might achieve, that you can't get there. Did you feel that yourself?
Yeah, and here's, you know, a parent, someone who you love very, very deeply, who is doing this terrible thing, and you can't stop them. And so you kind of feel as a child that it's your fault. But you go through that hell in silence, because, as Josh said, it's this big kind of dirty secret. You've got to keep the family secret safe. You can't possibly talk to anybody about it. And that's what then sort of leads to the emotional damage that drives so many children to develop eating problems or try and take their own life or become alcoholics themselves. So you get this kind of terrible cycle repeating itself because we've failed as a country to break the silence.
We'll talk about breaking the silence. I mean, you know, who should be breaking the silence? Because it's difficult for the child to do that, isn't it?
Well, we've started.
This is what it's all about.
We've started. No, you know, our goal is to break the silence so that we can break the cycle of this terrible disease cascading down the generations.
What if you know somebody, for example, that you're concerned about?
Well, I think the main thing is making sure that that child knows they're not alone, that it's not their fault, and that there's very little they can do to do anything to affect their parents' drinking. So, I mean, we both work with NCOA. Josh is a NCOA volunteer. They run this amazing helpline that's helped hundreds of thousands of people. But there's charities like Alateen, there are groups like Childline, you know. But the manifesto that we're launching today says, look, government needs to take responsibility for fixing this problem. No one else is going to do it. People who work with children need to know what to look out for and how to put kids within reach. And we need to step up treatment budgets as well, so that when parents do look for help, that treatment's actually there.
Josh, what's your own relationship like with alcohol now?
So I'm teetotal now, so I don't drink. But growing up through my teenage years and all that, I had quite a destructive relationship with alcohol myself. And that may seem kind of strange, really, with what I went through as a child, but it kind of offered me an escape, you know. It offered me something that I couldn't find anywhere else. Something that NCOA has taught me is that children of alcoholics, I think, do want to speak. I just don't think there's ever been an environment where we felt safe to speak. And I think that's what Liam Byrne's campaign is really trying to do. It's trying to give a platform to children of alcoholics so that there is an environment where we can seek healthy escape from the ways we feel.
Thank you both for coming to talk to us. I'm sure lots of people will be listening.
Can make a difference.